are back again. And before we look at some more of the fantastic interviews from the music festival, we have another wonderful montage.
What my name on the list? One last time, yo, they're wearing a mask, no way, injection, pick up the notes. When the city walking past on these kids, we're getting it out the way, like wearing a mask, injection, pick up the notes. When the city walking past on these, that jump on the shelf. Yeah, jump on the shelf, yeah, leave that jump on the shelf. That's not fruit, bitch, that's not demons, poison is bad for you. With a vegan or a veggie, fruits in the day, salad in the night, steam and squash roll with a wild rye. What forage in berries, don't fuck with a big hybrid tomatoes, only fuck with the plum and cherry. Leave that junk on the shelf, yeah, leave that junk on the shelf. Leave that junk on the shelf, yeah, leave that junk on the shelf.
Seems more like dream. Why wake up when you can stay asleep? Oh, love, got a hold on me like mother. I can feel it coming alive. Nice work if you can get it.
So everybody knows. So if God said that, then here we go. I can't decide if you're worth it. Sometimes it's just too much, but I love it anyway.
Education, that's just evil. What's other than earth with concrete and slave? Not save money, now they're gonna save us with a needle. special, so special, special. Gotta give some love. Thank you. Keep going, Prowse. With checks and failures, with fine shoes left out. Every financial transaction, every message on the site. Totally unstable, sociopathically insane. And the death machines are going on again. Take him to America, they're queuing up to sign. His freedom has been cancelled, he's running out of time. And there's nothing I can say gonna change your mind. You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make him drink. You can show a man a thing or two.
I don't give my power to anything outside of me. This is not the way to find out truth and liberty. Don't get caught in some illusion or a fantasy that blinds you from the person you can really be. It takes a lot of courage standing on our own. Defy a system that we know we've all outgrown. Let's take our power back, be all that we can be. Standing in our sovereignty, so we are standing free. We're free in sovereignty. It is a way we're meant to be. Don't you despair for as long as we care, and we stand side by side. We'll be turning the tide. So when I was younger, I always knew some things they taught us at school just wasn't true. Now I am older, I can see we've been blinded and tricked into slavery. But
Wasn't really all that tough. Come around and look at us. Hell no, they don't think. Where have all the rebels gone?
Here we are back again with some fantastic interviews. The first one is with Mark Devlin and Brian.
Delighted we're back here. Now, we're a bit tight for time on this one. I'm with Mark Devlin and he tells me he's going to be on at 8. It's 1:45, so we've agreed to a quick 5 minutes. Mark, thank you very much for joining me.
No worries. Happy to be here.
Okay, so is this your first of these events with Katie, Joe and team?
First one with this particular team, yeah.
Right.
I've spoken at quite a few events of this nature and I've DJ'd at quite a few, but first one of this kind, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a pretty unique location, isn't it, with all the stuff going on, and they've been working on the buildings on site and the classrooms have gone up.
That's right.
Fire pit, assault course, polytunnels, there's quite a lot here.
It's looking good. Yeah.
Okay. So what are you going to be doing tonight? When you're on at 8, what are you going to be doing?
Well, I'm going to be DJing a set of soulful, uplifting house music. So it's going to be joyous, positive vibes.
Right,
I think we all need a bit of that in our lives
Yeah.
after what we've been through. And it's just me harking back to my roots, because before I was an author and researcher, which is now my full-time job, I was a DJ for about 20 odd years. And every weekend I would be at events like this, some open air, but most in clubs, playing dance music. So it's good to be getting back to that this evening.
Back to roots.
Yeah.
And what do I want to say? You see the audience out there. How do you measure them? What sort of feel do you get from people here?
It's been a few years since I have been doing this as a full-time gig, so I'm a bit kind of rusty on that front myself in terms of reading a crowd. But you find that when you're a DJ, instinct kicks in, and you never forget it once you've learnt it. So it becomes a case of reading the vibes of the crowd and just sensing their energy levels and just picking up. It's kind of telepathy, I guess. You're just anticipating what they want to hear and responding to that in your set.
Yeah.
So the music I'm playing tonight is going to be very positive, uplifting stuff, and it's quite different to what I used to play in the clubs, which was R&B, hip hop, reggae. I don't really play that stuff anymore. The only music I can concern myself with now is music that makes you feel good and puts you on a happy, uplifting vibe.
Yeah, that's great. Everybody we've spoken today, the main thing they've all said is how much they're enjoying being with other people, where they can say what they want and they can discuss whatever they want, and they don't feel that they've said something wrong or somebody's going to accuse them of give them a certain label. So the big thing I picked up is that people are just really happy to be here amongst other like-minded people.
That's right. What we've seen over the past 2.5 years is, apart from various other agendas being imposed, is a war on joy. They've stripped away that aspect of our lives. They've made it almost feel like a crime to be happy and to enjoy yourself the way we used to, without giving it a second thought. And we need to get that back, particularly those of us that deal with this kind of information as researchers. You know, a lot of the information we come across is obviously very dark and heavy and dense, and it can really drag you down. And you've got to have some sort of release valve, some sort of way of escaping from the effects of all of that. So it's very important to pursue positive, uplifting, events in life.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
That's what we're doing
and
here.
I try and do it in my own life, whether it's out walking the dogs or it might be listening to music. But I know that if you spend too much time doing the research, and the heavier it gets and the darker it gets, the more it drags you down, and you've got to get your mind on something else.
That's right. It's not happy material.
Yeah.
What we deal with, you know, it's essential to get the information out there.
Yeah.
But if you don't have some sort of coping mechanism in place and some sort of self-defense strategies to avoid yourself getting bogged down, then it can really take its toll.
Yeah.
So we all find different ways of expressing that.
So you're involved in music, and you are, you're feeling quite forceful about this, and you're speaking out and you're telling people what's going on. What about the rest of people in the music industry? A lot of them aren't speaking out.
I know this has been a constant source of utter disappointment for me, seeing how few prominent musicians and celebrities of all kinds have felt to speak up about what's been going on. Because the tyranny that we're facing, the taking away of rights and freedoms, affects everyone. It affects them, their families, people they know. And there's never been a time in human history where every voice from the entertainment field has been needed more so than what we've been living through.
I agree. And
it's been so dismaying.
Some of the other musicians that I've been talking to are all saying, where's the passion in our industry to speak out and talk about what's going on?
I think this bears out the main theme of my work these past 12 years, which is that the music industry is utterly controlled. It's a construct. The key players, the household names, are doing the bidding of the control system that presides over all these different aspects of our lives. And none of these so-called rebels, these so-called anti-establishment figures, are anything of the sort. They're stooges, they're assets, they're tools. Where are the anarchists? Where are the punk rockers? Where are the rebels?
Yeah, it's true. isn't
Where
it?
are they?
Yeah, where are they? Okay, we're coming up for 5 minutes. You've got to get down the other
Well, the
end of
real
the
ones are
field.
here, aren't they, this
Yeah.
weekend?
Tell us what you're going to kick off with. Are you able to do that? What's going to appear first on the turntable?
I do have my first tune in mind, which is a classic from the late 80s. It's called Voodoo Ray by a guy called Gerald. Any old sort of acid house ravers from back in the day will know that one for sure.
Right, brilliant. Mark, thanks for joining me.
No worries.
Great.
Cheers.
There were drums all night long.
Here is the fantastic Peter Trott with Brian.
Well, I'm here with Peter, and he doesn't know it, but my first question is going to be about his jacket, because I'm fascinated with it. Tell me about your jacket. Super dry.
It is.
Japan 23.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
It's just a cool jacket. I just like it.
Good.
It's good.
Great. So, you're here. Have you done one of these things before?
I did the Uprise and Shine Festival earlier on in the year.
Right. How big was that? So I'm learning as I'm talking to people, because they're all telling me they've been to different things, and some are bigger than others.
It was maybe I think a little smaller than today's event.
Right.
But it was still a good
Right.
vibe.
And was the idea of this similar, that you're mixing music with getting over?
No, that was mainly lots of talks, really good talks. Lots of people, doing talks, and I was the light entertainment in the evening, just to get the party going before Mark Devlin came on and did a set.
Right. Okay. That's a bit of the style of alternative view, when there used to be a day of talks, and then in the evening it was moving towards music. The bit we never got to, but I know that Ian Crane was working on it, was we started to get live music from people who'd been in the audience, just to give it some, but we never quite got there. Maybe in the future we will. So what sort of music do you play then?
I play classics, songs that people enjoy from like the last sort of 30, 40 odd years or so. So I'll do anything from sort of Beatles, Bowie, Fleetwood Mac, all kinds of
stuff you like.
It's stuff that I like.
Right.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing this? Is this something from early age and you got into it? Or?
Yeah, I've been playing music since I could reach the piano stool, and I've been in bands since I was 18, but I've been sort of playing solo for the last sort of 15 or so years, 15, 20 years.
Is that a lonely job?
It's a great job. I enjoy it. I enjoy
it.
So
somebody else told me, and they're playing on their own, and they said they were very nervous, but once they got going, I think he described it as he got into his head, and he was in his head and the music, and then the audience didn't matter. Do you...
Yeah, there's a large element of that. Once I'm comfortable, then and the audience, I kind of feed off them a lot. It's very much a two-way communication.
So do you actually look at the audience when you're playing? Are you actually looking at people, or are you looking into the I'm really curious about this, because I wonder what it's like to be playing an instrument in front of an audience. Do you look at all those eyes, or do you make sure you're not looking at the eyes?
No, I love to look at people when I can. I'm concentrating, so I have a moment when I can, I do like to sort of look around and see what's going on. But I'm the piano. I'm slightly to the side, so I can always I have to turn right to look at the audience. So
okay.
So
check out what they're doing.
Yeah.
And are you trying to get a message across in the music that you're making?
I'm not really trying to get a message per se, but I think it's more a case of just getting over a good vibe and a fun vibe.
Yeah.
My piano was preset to 440 hertz. So I've changed it to 432,
is,
and It's a tricky one because the artists that I grew up with, that I loved and admired, and their music, they've kind of let me down a little bit because they haven't been outspoken. If I played music by covered bands that actually had a good positive message, I'd probably just do my one Van Morrison song and say thank you, good night. Wow. But the way I see it, I'm actually taking ownership of that music, kind of, and sending out a good vibe with it. Yeah. So it can't be trusted in the hands of these the original songwriters. So I'm sort of taking. Yeah,
you're putting a new spin on it, a new.
Yeah, I changed the odd lyric. I know a lot of bands doing covers change the lyric to make them more sort of freedom focused. As it
I just want to jump back. So as tuning, obviously retuning a piano is a big thing to take it to 4-3-2. Do you reckon that's made a difference? Is that a difference you can feel?
That's a really good question, because it's almost like sometimes I wonder if it's like a placebo effect. Now I believe it makes a difference.
Right. Because the piano is an interesting instrument, isn't it? Because it's I forgot the technical term, but it's tuned in precise intervals. Whereas originally they used to tune a piano in E major if it was going to cover a certain thing. So pianos were originally tuned for the music they were going to play until they. What's the term when you tune it in precise intervals?
That's a good question.
Oh, God, it's gone
I play the thing, I don't...
no, I'm testing you here. I can't think what you
don't test me, I just play it.
Yeah. So 4-3-2, your view is that, you think it does something different?
I believe it does.
Yeah.
A lot of other people believe it does.
Yeah. So we should be saying from the audience, this is instead of 440 hertz for an A, it's down to 4-3-2.
It's down to 4-3-2. It's the love vibe.
Yeah.
And that's been unfortunately that's been taken out of all music, and that's why when I bought the piano in the first place, it was preset at 440, and I bet they do that with all kinds of other instruments and recording and mixing and all sorts. So.
And was the piano the instrument you started with then? Has that always been it?
That's always been my instrument. I can't read music. I play by ear, so I'm self-taught. Wow. So
Yeah, great. Well, what do I say? So, can you tell us what you're going to? Have you played already? Sorry.
No. I'm due to play around 9:30 this evening.
So can you tell us what you're going to kick off with?
I'm going to kick off with Morcheeba. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Right.
So there's some good lyrics in there about being free. So I'm going to kick off with that. I'm just going to do a whole mixture of stuff that people like, whether it's Video Killed the Radio Star or, a couple of Beatles tracks, things like Come Together.
Actually, the Beatles have come up quite a lot. All the people speaking to me keep mentioning the Beatles.
Yeah. I love the Beatles. And it's one of those things where I've had to change my thought process with them, where I have to sometimes separate the art from the artist. But I've got a great admiration for that songwriting, assuming they wrote the songs that they. there's that question mark. Some people do, wonder if they wrote all their original, but they're great songs. They preach the right things. It's about love. It is about coming together.
Yeah.
And as I say, I'm quite happy to sort of take ownership of those songs and feed them out to people. And
yeah, brilliant. So if people, for people who are watching you now on camera, where do they go to find your music?
I've got my own website. That's petertrott.co.uk. And I've got videos on there and gig lists and that kind of thing.
Right.
But it's really good to be able to play sort of freedom festivals and that kind of thing, because that's playing for my people, really.
Yeah.
And it's
we just need more people here, don't we? The space is here.
Yeah.
And it would be brilliant if there were 5 times the number of people.
Well, maybe it'll grow,
Yeah.
and this is it's ever changing and growing. So hopefully that would happen.
Great. Thanks very much for talking to me and telling us about your music.
Thank you very much for listening.
Great.
All right, bless you.
Attention, give it to me. Got rhythm and recipe. Got a new strength.
The wonderful Right Said Fred are here talking with Brian.
I'm going to say I'm a man of a certain age, and this means that memory is beginning to go. So I'm going to be very careful with names and who I'm talking to. But the plan is to be in this room and to talk to some of the musicians that are making this a very special event. We're in a field, well, we're in a number of fields. Battle in Hastings. The weather's been great, slightly overcast, which I think has helped because it's kept the temperature down. But we're going to work through some of the musicians that have come to provide really great music for all of the people that are present with us today. So I'm going to start off. I'm going to say straight away, tell us who you are, name of the band. And
we're Right Said Fred. I'm Richard. That's Fred.
Yes.
And Katie Jo invited us here, and we've been hosting during the day.
Yeah, we're not performing today. We've just been hosting and inviting bands on and just explaining who they are.
Eating falafel.
Yeah, and having
stuff
some
like that.
free mocktails, which has been fabulous.
Yeah, the mocktails are interesting.
Yeah.
Mocktails are interesting.
Yeah.
Right, so how did you guys get involved with this then? How did you meet up with Katie?
I don't know how that
Katie, she contacted me online initially about performing, but we've been off the road for 2.5 years and we weren't ready to perform with a full band or anything. But I said we'd really like to support the event. Can we just come along, or should we host, or should we do something? And she was very happy with that, so we agreed to do that.
Yeah.
Right, excellent. And what about the sort of bit under the surface that everybody's here because they're suspicious about what's going on in the world? So has that been something that's affected you guys as well?
Yes, the last 2.5 years we've been cancelled by a lot of mainstream papers or media and
outlets.
Certain events have cancelled us. We're sort of used to it a little bit. We had a lot of friction when Richard came out in 1991. And because we've always been an independent band, we've always battled against the mainstream a little bit. We're there under duress. Our success has been under duress as opposed to acceptance. So we've never been part of the mainstream of the music industry. No.
Well, the whole COVID thing was we went into it thinking it would be cool to have to question.
Yeah.
That was the most shocking thing for me. Well, I went to one of the very first demos in Trafalgar Square, thinking it was, well, you just go along and you just ask questions and you show your cynical side, if you like. Yeah. And I had no idea that it would cause such a ruckus.
Yeah.
I really didn't. And then the next morning, I think it was Piers Morgan got his knickers in a bunch, just lost it. And then you have articles like Andrew Neil's article, "It's time to punish the unvaxxed," and all that kind of stuff, And it's become it's like an organic thing. It's just grown. This level of disapproval has been. It was there at the beginning, but now it's just everywhere. It's just. I mean, as Fred was saying, with the book we've got coming out. WH Smith have been fantastic. They are really, really supportive. But, Waterstones, HMV, Rough Trade, Sister Ray. In fact, with Rough Trade, I think in Notting Hill, one guy said his son was in a band and they performed in the store and they had to wear masks.
While singing.
The world has gone absolutely mad. Now, some people will say that it's a kind of confluence of chaos or whatever it is. And there are lots of people increasingly who seem to think it's a kind of evil kind of malaise of the mind that's gone on. And I certainly think when it comes to jabbing babies, you have to be in a certain kind of sick place to want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I personally think it's calculated. Everything I look at says to me that this is policy which is calculated.
I agree.
Yeah. But you guys are talking and my head is immediately saying, this is incredible. We're here at this amazing venue. A lot of people very happy. They're laughing and joking and talking. We got music.
Yep.
We got lots of stalls with all sorts of good food and drinks and other things. And it's about music, but we're into talking pretty deep politics already about what's happening around us.
Yes.
And yet it takes an event like this
Yep.
to enable people to speak openly
Yes.
on these subjects. And that's incredible, isn't it?
It is.
It is. I mean, I think if they tried to do this 2 years ago,
Be nobody here.
you would have struggled to get probably 50 people.
Yeah.
And I think now they could have probably doubled their numbers here, given if they'd had been allowed to. I think it's the beginning of a very interesting event, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, for me, it was the suspension of logic, the suspension of logical thinking, rational thinking, exhibited by so many people. So you'll have somebody, they'll walk into a restaurant with no mask on, they'll sit down, put the mask on, the food will come, they'll take it off. Then they'll get up, put it on, go to the toilet, get back, take it off, have a bite to eat, put it back on, take it out, take it off, then go back and
Drop it on the floor.
Drop it on the floor. The whole thing was insane. And I just thought, why aren't you thinking? Why aren't you thinking for yourself about this?
I was on a BA flight and I'm exempt and I wear my thing and won't wear a mask. And BA were fine actually. But the guy next to me says, "You haven't got a mask I can borrow." What? Have you got some underpants as well? Some socks?
Yeah, it is incredible. I live in a small village, and in that village there are still people wearing masks.
Yeah.
I won't say who, but
No.
I look at them, and particularly, the ones that fit very tightly and are black.
Yes.
So the temperature is what it is, and you see these people in masks, and I just can't get my head around it.
No, nor can I. I mean, I live in Windsor. There's the long walk in Windsor is very famous. It goes from the castle up to what they call it the Copper Horse. That's about 3 kilometres, I think. And the air has never been cleaner in Windsor because of the reduced flights over from Heathrow. And you will not so much now. I must admit, it's much less than it was. But you will still see people walking in the open air on their own in a park with a mask on.
Yeah.
It's
bizarre.
It's bizarre. Yeah. And I think it's a kind of mass psychosis. I don't know how you would explain it. It's almost become a fetish. I find it very difficult to keep quiet when I see mothers with young children with masks on. I shouted at one woman in Marks and Sparks the other week.
It's always a good way to start.
We're going on holiday. She was like, I don't care. But I'm now, I don't want to fill my life with that level of, negativity. Yeah,
and it spoils your day.
And it spoils your day too.
Because there's so many things to be angry about.
Oh, these days.
You have to kind of filter it.
Yeah.
But that brings us on to sort of balance from this event, isn't it? That you've got people here. I've heard a lot of conversations. Some of them are pretty serious stuff.
Yes.
But then people are also laughing and joking with each other. And one of the comments is, I know that I can talk here and say what I think, and nobody's going to accuse me of being biased or racist or anything.
Exactly.
So interesting, isn't it? So we're going to say, well done, Katie Jo. She's watching me carefully from a distance at the moment.
Organising this is like herding cats.
We've played a lot.
We've played a lot of festivals,
and I could never do it. I haven't got the right mentality or the skill set, set of skills.
No.
So I hats off. It's a good job done.
Yeah, the team have done a good job. Yeah, so I only got here today, so it was all set up.
Right,
obviously a lot of work.
A lot of preparation, absolutely.
Right, I want to talk a little bit about your music, just push you a bit.
Yeah.
About the subject. In the music industry, though, how are other people reacting to the situation? Are you two lone voices with saying something's wrong?
Mostly. We get bizarre messages. For some reason, it's been drummers mostly. Quite well-known bands. And we get a message saying, yes, keep speaking out, boys, it's great. And then they're on a festival the very next day or week. And it's vaxxed only, or we know it's got certain criteria backstage. I'm thinking, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, you think like this, but you're doing that. You're role playing.
Yeah.
So I try to be patient, and I have to admit my patience is kind of gone. Really, I tend to be a bit short-tempered with people in that regard.
Yeah. The problem is a lot of people, they might have family at home, they might, kids.
I've got.
Well, I know, but some people, because we write what we do, we have what they call pipeline money, which comes in whether we're doing live shows or not. So we've been able to pad through it, although we've lost a lot of people have lost a lot of money. But if you only get paid when you play, or you only get paid when you dance, or you only get paid when you,
it's a tough call.
That's a tough call. That's a really tough call. Yeah.
So I'm going to watch the time actually, because these are supposed to be short interviews. Question for you then. So How hard did lockdown hit the music industry?
Really badly.
Really
I can
badly.
tell the first summer, live entertainment went down 4.5 billion just in the UK.
Wow.
And I know that because Harvey Goldsmith told us. So it hit it really badly. It's picking up a little bit, but we know some people on the road with some quite big bands, and more shows are being cancelled than they're letting on. A lot of shows are being pulled. So, and also there's a lot of posters out there, and I think that's for promoters to get the money and then say, oh, here's a voucher for next year. You know,
So they
I think
get the interest for 6
there's
months.
a bit of that going on.
Yeah.
Wow.
We've cancelled all shows, but we might go out next year now. We're getting some offers and some interesting offers that we might be able to.
Great. So let's talk about your music.
Yeah.
Right.
What makes your music great?
Christ knows.
Well, that's a subjective. All art is subjective. And I used to know a guy who thought the Beatles were rubbish. It's all subjective. What we try and do is what was really great for us in terms of lockdown, and it's the one positive thing that I can, from my personal point of view, that I can think of, is that it stopped us thinking purely in terms of money. It made us think, because before we were just thinking about, we've got a festival on Friday, we know the songs that they're going to get off on, we're going to play those songs, that's it. We didn't think. And we had to, so once that stopped, we had to start thinking, well, what do we actually want to write? What do we actually want to do? And the last few songs we've written, and one that we're working on now, we would never ever have started if we were still going out touring. And that's why the Stones haven't made a good album in 50 years, because they're too busy on the road. They're not enough time in the studio.
The audience. So if you're doing, a particular song and they've all got their hands in the air, you get back home and think, we better write another one like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas
artistically, you don't move on.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm laughing at myself here because my knowledge of the music industry is the genre of your music.
Pop dance, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, it depends. In America, we're alternative.
Yeah.
Okay.
In America, we're alternative. UK would be classed as pop, I suppose.
Actually, in America, when we first came out, we were fag pop.
Fag pop.
Okay.
Very complimentary.
I'm not going to comment on that.
And I don't smoke. I didn't get it.
Yeah. Right. So what are you going to do today, this evening?
The rest of the day, I'm going to treat myself to some alcoholic beverage after about 6 or 7.
Yep.
And we're going to introduce different bands and DJs as they come and go.
Right.
And try and make ourselves vaguely useful.
Vaguely useful, yeah.
The hard question: how many bands are there altogether? There's a lot.
Oh.
42, I think. 42.
42. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
What would you like to say to your musician friends as a general comment?
Grow a pair.
Yeah, grow a pair.
Grow a pair. Great.
Yeah.
We'll end on that. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Pleasure. Thanks, mate.
And here we have Tom Prowse talking with Brian.
Well, the next man I'm going to talk to, I know his name now. It's called Tom. And he's had quite an adventure getting here from Bristol. So I'm going to say straight away, Tom, you made it. That's absolutely great. Tell us about the travel arrangements.
Well, you've put me on the spot there.
Well, you were looking for some help getting a lift, weren't you?
Yeah. I managed to get a lift with my friend.
Yeah. And you've come down from Bristol.
Yeah.
It was a long trip.
Yeah, 4-hour trip.
Yeah.
But we made it.
You made it.
We got here.
And I've already seen you with a guitar on your back.
Yeah.
Okay. So, key musical question: what sort of guitar? What sort of music?
I've got it's kind of a specially designed guitar. It's like for making beats. So I make beats and stuff. But yes, it's giant. It's like the biggest guitar I ever had.
And made by somebody you know, or this is something that you saw and you liked
There's
it?
a musician called John Gom. I don't know if you've ever heard of John Gom.
No.
He plays a similar guitar.
Okay.
He's a really big one of my inspirations.
Okay. So how long have you been playing music?
I've been playing for 9 to 10 years.
Right.
Yeah.
And how did you start out? Did you just were you just messing around and then it got serious, or did you always want to?
Well, yeah. When I was a kid, I think like a lot of the kids at my school were into rapping, so I started rapping at about 13, and yeah, I think I picked up a guitar around 19, 20. So I'm 29 now. And I started singing, all my friends laughed at me. They were like, yeah, that doesn't sound good. So I made it my mission to get really good at music.
So where did you play then? What sort of venues did you
back
go
then
to?
I didn't play any.
Right.
To be honest, back then I would sit in my living room and I wouldn't even play to my mum. So it was like really like big confidence issues. But I've kind of got over them now. I'm like, yeah. I've done pretty big gigs now. So
okay, so you know, how many people have you played to?
I just played a gig called Carry On Campaign, which is similar to this, like kind of awake kind of people, and there was about 700 there maybe.
Wow,
that was quite big. Yeah, that's really good there. It's really good.
1,400 eyes staring at you.
A lot of people, yeah.
Yeah. And what happens when you play? Do you start off a bit nervous and then you get into it and then you forget the audience, or do you react with the audience straight away?
Sometimes, like usually after the second song, I'll probably like start to get into flow and forget where I am, and that's pretty good. But other times I'm really in my head and I'll play the whole gig just like sweating and nervous. And,
right.
Yeah.
They're very friendly people today.
Yeah.
Everybody I've met today has been really nice, actually. So that's got to be a good thing. Right. Same question. So what's the style of the music you play?
I'm like, I guess like a mixture of like kind of rap, folk, kind of soul, something. I'm not really I don't really have a genre.
Whatever sort of hits you and you feel.
Yeah, I'm literally like all genres. I don't have a genre.
Okay.
So it's kind of weird.
Right, and you're writing all your. Are you playing covers or are you writing all your own material?
Both. Yeah,
both, right.
Yeah.
So out of your own material, then what do you reckon your best song?
That's a tough question.
I know, but only you can answer
a lot of people like my song "Losing It," and that is about, like a few years ago, I would busk for a living, and I just watched the world going by, and I'd see a lot of corruption in the world. So yeah, I wrote a song about that. It's called "Losing It."
Right.
And I'll be playing that tonight. So.
Oh, okay. So that's great.
Yeah.
So people can watch out for that.
Yeah. I'll be releasing that on 1st of August as well.
Right. So, excellent. Well, Tom, you said it all. You got here. That's the main thing. You got your guitar. You got an audience. And you got the stuff in your head. So I'm going to say good luck, and we'll look forward to hearing.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you.
Here's an interview with Danny Rampling and Brian.
Well, time's moved on, so I'm going to say good evening to everybody watching. What is it now? It's 8:55. I'm here with Danny Rampling, and off camera, we've just been having an interesting little chat about cities. So we've talked a bit about Plymouth and the redesign of the city under the Abercrombie plan, and we've talked about Coventry, bombed heavily, of course, and then became a bit of a concrete city. This is a pretty amazing conversation because we're supposed to be talking about music. How do we go on to cities? You've been to Plymouth.
Yes, enjoying Plymouth on New Year's Day.
Yeah, to see Josie.
Yeah.
And you've been down on the seafront in Plymouth looking out, or you've been down on the Hoe looking out on the Sound. And if the weather's reasonable, it's beautiful.
It was.
Setting.
It was a glorious day, Saw another side to Plymouth.
Yeah. So were you down there for music or?
I was, yeah. I was working in a club on New Year's Day.
Right.
So yeah, it was a good night.
So come on then, tell me, because I'm going to say I don't know a lot about your music and what you do and what you get involved with. So for the audience, start at the beginning and Who are you and what do you do?
Well, I've been DJing for over 30 years, and I was at the forefront of the change with electronic music and house music in this country, and we created a movement, and it completely transformed the club scene and the festival scene, and it's been a huge export worldwide. And I was one of the pioneers and figureheads of the movement.
Right. So what sort of year?
That was 1988.
Right, okay.
So there were 2 summers of love where everybody came together, and it deconstructed, kind of social groups and social demographics and the class system, and everything's melded into one. And the Berlin Wall was falling at the time, and apartheid, and there was this real wave of optimism and hope, and things were changing, and particularly in youth culture, it changed dramatically, and it had a profound effect on everybody's lives that took part in that time and that movement and the music, revolutionary new music. And it was a very exciting, unique time. And people have, had lifelong friendships and marriages and, kind of relationships as a result of what happened back then. And it's still going strong. So we're here today to support the Hope Festival, which is a great project, the homeschooling project here. I've been here to have a look at Hope during the week, and I support Hope 100% with what they're doing. And the atmosphere here is very relaxed, very chilled. It's a great start for their first festival. So I'm pleased to be here, really excited about playing in an hour. And there's a good group of people here, really positive group of people. Yeah. And that's what it's about. And it's important that we have fun. There's so much fear being projected into the world, and so much turmoil going on and division. It's really important that we take care of ourselves and we actually step out of that arena and be kind to ourselves and have fun and socialise, and because these things were partially denied in the lockdown, and enjoying every moment of life, because my view is the joys of life can be a moment long, before you know it, that those moments have passed you by. And all of this moaning recently about the hot weather, for goodness sake, the winters here are terrible. We have, one or two hot days and people are moaning about it. Just stop moaning and enjoy life, That's what we're here for. We're here to enjoy every moment of our life through the bad times and the good times. We all have bad times, but, keep your head held high, and stop bloody moaning.
Well, there are some people who do some moaning. I also go and say with the sort of heat wave bit. I mean, this junk all appeared in the press and the media, didn't it?
Yeah.
I met people locally who they're not aware of a lot of things going on, but they were saying very quietly, "Why is there all this nonsense about it's just going to be hot? What's the problem?" And I was impressed at that, because I'm going to say ordinary people getting on with their lives, but they're saying, why is the press and the media pumping all this stuff that we're all going to die because the sun's come out? It's crazy.
Yeah, scaremongering and also tying it into the climate agenda.
Yeah.
All part of it, isn't it? But the scaremongering is off the scale in all areas, isn't it, really? It's fear. Yeah. And this is underpinning everything that we're living through, this dangerous history, dangerous but yet thrilling history that we are living through right now. I think it's a very difficult time, but it's also an incredible time. This chapter in history that we are living through, and the changes.
You get rid of the fear factor. It's a roller coaster ride. It's quite exciting to be living what's happening now.
Yeah.
And certain young gentleman said earlier on that he thought he wasn't going to see this until he was older. But he's the age he is.
Yeah, well, I think,
and now he's seeing it happen. It's.
I think a lot of us were of that belief as well. But it's been accelerated, this whole plan and what we're experiencing, and this whole not so great reset. I call it.
Yeah.
They believe it's a great reset. Well, we certainly don't.
No, this is true. You're involved in music. You're encouraging people to be upbeat and all that sort of stuff. but you are seeing that something's wrong in the world.
Yeah.
Are you trying to teach people about what's happening through the music that you're playing?
Well, the music I play is uplifting. It's raising the frequency, raising the vibration. It's coming from positive intentions and sharing joy. That's my role. You know, it's an exchange of energy, and it's bringing joy to people's lives, and escaping everyday life and letting loose on a dance floor and immersing themselves in music, but ourselves in music, should I say? But I think.
But can you talk to the audience about some of the you're discussing with me some of these things that are going on in the world? Can you talk to an audience about some of those things as you're playing music?
Well, I've spoken out from the beginning of this, and it hasn't been well received at times. But I don't really care. I rise above that. What I believe is what I believe, and that's what I feel in every cell of my body, and that's my conscious state of mind, and being very mindful of what's happening around and raising awareness. And that is, I think personally, that's a duty to actually stand up and put your head above the parapet. When something is wrong, it's wrong, and we confront these issues. If something doesn't feel right and it's wrong, I do not share any information that is not authenticated, the same as the broadcast on UK column. All of your information is thoroughly researched and authenticated, and that's how I apply my views online. I've taken lots of flack from within my peer group and the industry itself. We're in a minority of people who are speaking out alongside a handful of notable people. But the majority of contemporaries, they don't seem to want to speak out because I think they feel that it will impact their earning capacity.
Yeah.
But this is way beyond earning. This is an extraordinary time that we are living in. And I feel it's a duty to speak out and raise that awareness.
Yeah.
And whatever comes, back, the negative responses, just rise above it. I do not engage with it. Yeah. I present the information, present views, and then I move on. But I'm finding that through social media, there seems to be a bit of a shift in the last few months where there's less toxic language used and insults and threats and abuse. It seems to have subsided slightly, and the percentage of positive feedback is outweighing the negative feedback.
I look at this. I understand what you're saying,
yes.
because I see this as well.
Yes.
It's like it's matured. All of the the ego stuff and the spats and the aggression, that all seems to have fallen. It's like social media has become mature, and now we've got people doing brilliant documentaries, people pushing out fantastic information, and often it can be just a single person, mum, dad, man, woman, whatever, and they've just said, no, we don't like what's going on, and then they put up a video clip talking about it. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, people's journalism, new media, that's where it's at. It's unbiased and it's real. It comes from a place of truth and no other agenda going on, and people sharing their feelings and how they're feeling about life and the world in general. And this is really important. If we look at Holland with the Dutch farmers protests that are ongoing, this isn't widely reported on mainstream media. Well, why is it not widely reported on mainstream media?
Sorry, they're too frightened.
Well, exactly. But it's spreading into Italy and Germany. The Italian farmers are uprising, and this is having a domino effect through Europe. And it won't be long before it happens here as well. We have kind of farmers being offered sums of money to give up their land, which is all part of this wealth transference and the agenda of controlling the food supplies, which people have thought was a conspiracy theory. Anything.
Well, now it's fact, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Policy.
Absolutely. It's fact. And this is what we're seeing, and I think people are starting to now ask questions about these very serious issues. You know, this shift that's going on in the world. You've got this ideology over here of the World Economic Forum, the World Health Organization, Davos, G7, who want to shape this ideology in this world that it's not really a win-win agenda and vision for the world. You know, the manipulation of artificial intelligence, all of these things combined, the social credit score system, the digital identity, a cashless society, central bank digital currency, a surveillance state, all of this is all tied into control. It's a control agenda. But who are these people to actually determine how we live our lives? We live our lives responsibly. I personally have made a declaration to myself that I am a sovereign being. I'm a sovereign being. I take control of my life. I live life on my terms. I do no harm. I live life responsibly. And that is the essence of sovereignty and bodily autonomy. These are decisions that I have made, and many other people are realising this and making those decisions as well. But this power structure here and this self-entitlement and they're perceived as an elite, but they're not an elite. They're a cult. They're a cult of narcissists and individuals who've got deeply rooted psychological issues and have suffered traumatic abuse possibly in their formative years, and that's being projected onto the world. And they've all got this same character profile, but what they're doing here is it comes from a place of scarcity mindset as well. It's this transfer all the wealth, and then move people into poverty, decimate the middle class and the upper middle class and make it even harder for the working class and push people who are already into poverty into further poverty. It's atrocious what's going on, but I personally think they're not going to win. They have this ideology and they think that they're going to shape this dystopian idealism of how they see the world, which benefits them, and they sit here in this hierarchy while we become enslaved. It's not going to happen. There's a massive...
I think we're really now starting to see people fight back against this thing. If you're playing positive music, if we have a positive message to give to our audience, I absolutely think that over the last couple of years in particular, you can see people now starting to say, no, it's not going to happen. And that's a very exciting thing.
Yes, absolutely, Brian. And this is the thing with the energy price hikes, this corporate extortion, these corporations raking in billions, and meanwhile people are being pushed into poverty. This is what's happening, and there's a massive fight back coming. And from the beginning, a number of figures have said this ends with non-compliance, and this is where it's heading. As you've just said, there's more questions being asked. There's more people saying, no, we're not going to adhere to this. And it's this is a time of self-preservation. Self-preservation is the key to this, and non-compliance. And this winter, we are going to see a tidal wave of the public, not just here in Britain, across Europe as well, because Europe, it's even worse because the dependency on the Russian gas and the EU saying we're going to have to cut back on our energy use, and homes could be plunged into darkness with no heating at all. So people are going to fight back because it's sink or swim. And now economically, it's on everybody's doorstep throughout the land, particularly here in the UK. And when people get desperate, and the lockdown has devastated so many people's lives and businesses,
and music industry.
Oh gosh, but really devastated. I didn't work for over a year, off, kind of 18 months, a very sporadic income, in and out of the lockdown, and the industry was severely impacted, like the travel industry, retail, hospitality. Retail fared better because of the online shopping. But now into this energy crisis, if people are going to make their decisions to have all of their funds exhausted, giving that over to these extortionate tactics and pricing, then they're not going to have the disposable income to take a taxi at times, or to go to a local restaurant, or to go to a bar or a club, or stay in a hotel, or go to the local shop, or and buy something as a gift or something. It's going to have in my opinion, it's going to be far worse than what we have experienced in this lockdown period.
And therefore, we're going to need to help people feel better and be happy, aren't we?
Yes.
Against this. It's two things. You've got to fight it.
Yeah.
But to help people fight, we're going to have to raise their...
Absolutely. Yeah.
A lot of people say vibration level. We're going to make people happier and stronger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eye on the clock. Have to have an eye on the clock. What would be your message to people who are listening to this interview now? How do they see you in action as Danny Rampling? Where do they find your music?
Where do they find my music?
Or where do they find out more about you?
Instagram, where I'm heavily shadow banned. I do have a Facebook page. Right. I didn't use Facebook for a couple of years because it got too toxic, and I had to step away from that environment. Yeah. I don't want to be sucked into the toxic nature of arguing with people on social media. It's a complete waste of time. It doesn't serve anybody. So, but I have gone back there for 6 months, so you can find me on Facebook and Instagram mainly.
Can they find YouTube clips of events that you've done?
Oh yeah, there's lots of things. And interviews. There's quite a few interviews.
So they should search for you by name?
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Excellent. We will get some links in to help people find you and see you in action.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say, brilliant talking to you.
Yeah, very nice talking to you also. But that's it. Let's keep our positive energy high, and let's not be sucked into the fear. We've had enough of the fear. We've had 2 years of this fear, and the whole thing is driven and underpinned by fear. So it's rising above that fear and standing in our truth and standing in our power. We have the power, and more people are coming to the realization that they have personal power and are rising above the fear, and that's all it takes. And we are going to win here. They're not going to triumph.
Because we have to win. We're going to win because we have to win.
Absolutely. That's the only way. And there is a very better world that is being shaped for the not too distant future. Brilliant. And it's not going to be that future, that dystopian utopia that they believe that we're all going to be herded into.
Yeah. Danny, brilliant. Thank you very much.
And here follows his electrifying set.
right, go for it, mate.
Thank you.
It ain't over yet. And just when you thought it was over, it's not over. It's never over. We live life full to the maximum with gratitude.
Through the hard times and the good, I have to celebrate you, baby. I have to praise you like I should. Through the hard times and the good, I have to celebrate you, baby. I have to praise you like I should.
Many thanks for watching the highlights from this year's Freedom Music Festival. We hope you've really enjoyed reliving the amazing event. And if you came along and had the best time, we hope you will join us for future events in 2023. There are plenty to attend and get involved with. So if you aren't on our mailing list and you aren't receiving our emails, then please do visit our website, www.hopesussex.co.uk, and we will get you on there and you can find out exactly what we're up to in 2023.